We live in a country where people can watch the same event and come away convinced the other side lives in an alternate universe. Not because we're stupid, but because we've been trained to assume the worst about anyone who doesn't think exactly the way we do. Welcome to America, where disagreement got replaced with enemy. Today, we're talking about something that quietly shapes almost every argument, every headline, and every political conversation. That assumption is bad intent. Somehow we went from, I think you're wrong, to you're wrong because you're a terrible human being. And here's the thing nobody likes to admit: we didn't come up with this ourselves, it was installed. Like spyware for your brain. Let's start with something uncomfortable. Most people are not sitting around plotting the destruction of the country. Believe it or not, they're doing the same things that you and I are: paying bills, raising kids, and trying not to scream at their dog. But our news feeds don't show that. They show the worst possible version of every people that we disagree with. The loudest, the craziest, the angriest, or that one person that's holding up a sign written in crayon at a protest nobody asked for. Why? Because fear and outrage get engagement, and engagement gets money, and money gets more of the same content. It's a machine, and you're not the customer, you're the product. This next part is one people will deny in the comments. Humans naturally fill in the blanks with threat. It's true. If you don't know someone's intent, your brain assumes the worst. It's an ancient survival trick, useful for lions, but terrible for democracy. Algorithms exploit this instinct by feeding you stories that confirm your fear until you are convinced the other side wakes up every morning hoping that you fail. And here's the truth you already know but avoid. You have been radicalized more than you think, not by ideology, but by design. But when you actually talk to real people, not avatars, not headlines, not caricatures, you quickly realize most Americans want a couple things: stability, safety, fairness, kids who grow up okay, and mostly politicians who aren't circus performers. You know, basic adult crap. But we don't see those people. We see the worst 1% shoved into our faces on repeat until we think that the whole world is that way. This is how a society gets tricked into believing disagreement equals danger. When you assume the worst about people, you stop listening. And when you stop listening, you stop understanding. When you stop understanding, you become easy to manipulate. And that's the goal. Because a country full of people who think the other half is evil is a country too distracted to notice who's pulling the strings. Distraction is not a side effect. It's a business model. So here's the part that requires actual courage. You have to stop treating people like villains just because they're inconvenient to your worldview. Not because they're right, not because you need to agree, but because assuming the worst doesn't make you principled. It makes you predictable. And predictable people are easy to control. So the next time you catch yourself saying, they just want to destroy the country, stop for 1 second and ask, or is that just the version of them I was sold? Because the moment you stop buying the caricature, the whole system loses leverage over you. And that, ironically, is the most rebellious thing you can do in a nation built by division by design.